Good day, poker peeps. This is Sky with Smart Poker Study. In this video, we're going to find more 3-bet bluffs with some suited connectors. So on the spreadsheet right here, these are the 6 aspects that make up the perfect 3-bet bluff. We're going to be going through some hands, counting how many of the 6 are in place, and seeing what I do with these 3-betting opportunities. Now, I explain each of these 6 in detail in a free PDF that I'm offering you called Find More 3-Bet Bluffs. On page 1 of the PDF, you'll find some information about why you 3-bet, breaking down all 6 aspects, and then starting on page 2, 20-question quiz, 10 situations, 2 questions per situation. How many of the 6 aspects are in place, and would you 3-bet? And if so, how much would you make it? Once again, link in the description down below. This is going to help you become a better 3-bet bluffer. All right, so let's get to hand number 1. We've got the 9-8 suited right here. Villain 322, open raise, it's a 2.8 big blinds. Now, we got to count how many of the 6 aspects are in place. Are we in position? Oh yeah, position is power. Do we hold an ace? No, but it is a suited connector, which has some post-flop playability to it. So it's always a good, not always, but it is a good hand to occasionally throw in 3-bet bluffs with, because your opponents, they're not going to expect it as well. Now, it is a small open raise, 2.8 big blinds, with plenty big enough stack. You could see 116 big blinds right there. Raise first in by position. Well, so far, as a total, 36% raising first in is specifically in the MP, he's at 26%. Now, you might say, Sky, he's under the gun. That's early position. Not the way Poker Tracker 4 reads it. This is an MP spot. And seeing as how loose aggressive this player is, even though he's under the gun, he's not going to think to himself, whoa, I'm in early position. I got to be tight. He sees that there's only 2 players left before the button. He's going to be raising his MP, maybe even like his cutoff open raising range. So yeah, definitely over 20%. Raise and then fold, 88%. We're loving that. 7 out of 8 spots. He's shown the ability to fold in the past. We got to take advantage of that, right? Fold on the flop greater than 50%, shoving 60% right here. Loving this spot. Now, because we have 5 in place, 5 or 6 are mandatory. 5 is almost mandatory, especially if it's a small bet as well as a big stack, because you want that post-flop maneuverability. One of the big things when you're 3-bet bluffing, of course you want them to fold. And all the signs might be there that he's folding, right? We got 5 of the 6. But you got to expect a call. Always expect a call. Plan to go post-flop. And this is a great player to go post-flop with. He folds on the flop a ton. Awesome. We're going to see bet bluff 100, maybe not 100%, but a very high frequency of flops here. So we make it 9 big blinds. You want to hit their pain threshold with your 3-bet bluff, somewhere between 9 to 12, maybe even more if necessary, depending on the situation. But we make it 9. And then they all fold. We take this bad boy down with a simple 3-bet bluff right there. Now, very important thing. I said this, but I want to reiterate it. Expect a call. Suited connectors are great for post-flop play. They flop straight draws, flush draws. They flop straights, flop flushes. You hit strong 2-pair hands. They're not going to see it coming. So many great reasons to play hands like these suited connectors. All right, so let's get to hand number 2, 8-7 suited here. Under the gun raise from what looks like a tight player. Fold, and then actions on us. Now we have to count up how many of the 6 aspects are in place. We're in position, great. We don't hold an ace. It is a small open raise, but look at that stack size. One of the reasons you want the larger stack is you don't want him committed on the flop. If we make it 10, and he calls, that pot's already getting big. 20 big blinds, he would only have 47, maybe 50 behind. Man, it makes it really tough right there. Let's see, raise first in by position? Sure, maybe he raises first in under the gun in a full ring table, but most likely he doesn't. He's probably got a very tight range. Raise and then fold to 3-bet? No history on that. He folds 0 on the flop, 100% on the turn. But if we're going to double barrel bluff this player, if we 3-bet here, that pot's going to be so big, we're not likely to get him off on the turn. So really, we only have one thing going for us. We're in position, 7-8 suited. I really do not like my 3-bet bluff right here. I wish I had not have made this play. I would have much rather called. Now, calling, we got a lot of other fishy players right here. One loose aggressive player, 307, who's 3-bet in the past. So we might call and then face a 3-bet. but so be it. At least I have a pretty good post-flop playable suited connector in position against the open raiser. If he had pocket aces and I hit something lovely on the flop, I'm going to get his entire stack without having to commit to a 3-bet situation right here. They all fold, and he calls. Okay. Top pair, gut shot. We bet 10 big blinds, just c-betting. And I really don't like that c-bet right there. What a great spot to just check behind with some equity. And look at that stack to pot ratio. It's already 30 big blinds. If he has anything, he's committed. He's calling. He's going to shove the turn. He's going to check raise me here. Whatever. He's committed at this point with anything that connects. And yeah, he's telling me he probably has an overpair, pocket tens or jacks, maybe even aces that he slow played with a call pre-flop. And then what happens? I end up calling. Now, I really don't like this call. One of the big things before you call on the flop, but before you make any flop play, especially calling, plan for what's going to happen on the turn, right? If I call this 10 big blind check raise, that pot is going to be 59.4 big blinds. He only has 31. He check raised me on the flop. I guarantee he's shoving. Their only cards that I like on the turn are an 8, a 7, or a 5. Everything else, I'm going to hate seeing an ace, a king, a queen, a jack, a 10. Going to hate all of that, right? So, and I have to expect a call. I'm sorry. I have to expect him to shove, and I'm just going to be folding most of the time on the turn. I would much rather just fold that, chalk it up to a terrible 3-bet, a terrible c-bet, and then just giving up the hand, saving that 10 big blinds right there. The jack hits, he shoves. Of course, we fold. We're not getting the right equity to make the call, but we realize finally he's got an overpair right here against us. So some really important things to note right here, right? Only one in place. Probably not 3-bet bluff these kinds of players, especially who looks tight under the gun in a full ring. That's something you got to remember too. Super tight range, even though it was just 2 big blinds, and that might have been in the moment what seduced me. Oh my gosh, he only made it 2 under the gun with all these players F-stacked. He's weak, and so I decided to pounce on that. I don't like that I did. And then before calling flop, what will happen turn? And if you don't like what's going to happen on the turn, as evidenced by like this situation right here, yeah, folding on the flop would have been so much better. All right, the final hand, let's get to it. We've got king, queen suited. Open raise to just 2.2 big blinds, a fold, and a call. Nice, a 3-bet squeezing opportunity for us. So let's count up what we got. We're not in position in the small blind. We don't hold an ace either. Small open raise and a large stack? Sure, 2.2, 120, 2.2, 127. Yeah, we got that covered. Raise first in by position. Well, 32% raising first in. If we look at it specifically out of the MP, he's at 33%. It is only 1 out of 3, but he's a loose aggressive player in general. I think we can safely say he's got somewhere around a 20% range, maybe even a little bit higher. Now, he has not folded to 3-bets, 0 out of 2. That's a shame right there. But he does fold to c-bet so far. So we really only have 3 out of 6 right here. But the thing that really caused me or propelled me to make this 3-bet bluff to 12 big blinds is the fact that we've got this dead money. A loose aggressive player just calling who's 3-bet in the past? Sure, it's only 1 out of 8, but he's shown the ability to 3-bet. He's in general a loose aggressive player. If he had a really good hand or a hand he wanted to bluff with, like let's imagine it was a pocket 8s, ace 5 suited, things like that, he would have done it. He called because he wants to see the flop. I'm charging him to see that flop, and I'm making it plenty big enough. Like I said, between 9 to 12, I'm going 12. I'm trying to sell the idea that I have pocket aces, kings, queens, and I'm charging you guys for your position against me. And they all fold. I take that one down. So a really important thing to remember, in these squeezing opportunities, lag caller equals capped range, more reason, and capped range and plus potentially dead money, more reason to 3-bet bluff right there. And then, of course, size big enough to value sell. To size your bet big enough to sell the idea that you have a value hand right now. If I made it just 8 big blinds, they're all going to put me on weakness, a cheap attempt to bluff. make it 12. I would only do that with queens, kings, and aces. At least in their mind, I would only do it with that. And then boom, take this bad boy down. Alrighty. So once again, don't forget to get the free PDF. Find more 3-bet bluffs. Link in the description down below. Before you watch another video, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, take action both on and off the felt to become the player that you want to be.